just start with a bit of warming up. Yes. Okay, and then just coming to the front and back. So imagine you're kind of moving from the chest. Kind of press forward, backwards. Nice and relaxed. Keep the knees nice and loose. Good. Nice. Good. And then side to side. And really letting the spine flex to the side. Let it kind of bend. That's it. Nice. Okay, good. Into a rotation. Just letting the arms hang by the side. And last one, just working with a wave with the body. That's okay, good. So just work with these swings. So these keep the shoulder width apart. The first one's really for the knees, so you just raise the arms up and then just let everything drop down to the ground. So just swinging the arms down. Try and keep the extension in the spine so you create length through the upwards movement. And then just release towards the ground. Really feel the whole weight of the body just drops into the ground. Drops down. The knees nice and relaxed. You have a kind of double bounce at the bottom. Okay, good. The next one's really for the hips. So you start with a neutral position, hands at the side here, and then just let the arms swing down. Raise back up. You're just going to alternate each time. One hand goes to the shoulder, and the other goes to the lower back. In this case, really feel a rotation in the hip. Sinking the weight really down into one leg, and then out. Just let the arm be swung by the hip. Good. And we go to the shoulders. So you're basically going to use the front at the top to the side, let the arms drop to the front and back, and then swing back up. So it's a nice big movement. And this is really about opening the shoulders. Think of the shoulders like a kind of gate. You just want to really swing it open. Front and back. And just do a few one way and then just change the direction. So that's okay, good. So we'll just start with the feet, just rolling in circles. Keep the weight in the other leg. So there's hardly any weight in the leg, just so you can really mobilize the joint. So really work with the whole joint from the toes to the ankle. Let everything really stay loose. And work both directions in this case. Good. And then change side. Drop the weight into the other leg. In both directions. Good. Okay, just working the feet side to side. Just going to kind of come into the blades of the feet. Side to side. That's good. Good. Okay, go into the knees. And the other way. Good. Okay, now you're just going to stretch the legs back, stretch the knees back. Yeah. And then just going to bend down. So just dropping the hips onto the heels. The heels basically come up to the back side. And then just coming back up, stretching back. Okay, just carry on. Good. And then bending down again. The legs. Good. And then back. Good. And just shake the legs up a little bit. Good. And the legs are a little bit wider. Just going to start to work side to side. Try and keep both feet in connection with the ground, so nice and flat. And just transferring the weight over one side to the other. Good. And then just hold it one side. Good. And the other side. Good. And then coming all the way down. Bring the toes up. Change. Good. Coming back up. Bring the feet a little bit, just a bit wider than shoulder width. Just drop down into a squat. And just hold it a little bit. Let the weight sink. Really let the weight sink into the heels. So all the weight's basically in the pressing from the knees into the heels. Just hold it. If you can bring the hands into the ground, you lower a little bit more. And then basically use the elbows to press against the legs. You're just going to press the arm, press the legs out away. That's it. That's it. Good. Okay, and then in this position, put one hand in the center of the body, and you're going to trace the arm up, one hand up the arm, all the way up, and then rotate through the torso, all the way up through the hand, and then release towards the sky this way. And then just come back down, and then change hands. So you trace all the way up the arm, rotate the torso, and reach up. Just repeat it both sides. Keeping the weight really in the heels. That's it. Good. And just coming up. Good. Okay, we just go to the hip. Just work with nice big circles, as big as you can do. And change. Good. Okay, just with the elbow, just going to twist to the back. Just hold it kind of a second or two, not too long. And then you're going to bring the arms out, extend through the hands, go into the fingertips. Just hold a little bit longer. And release, and then to the other side. And really think about spiraling down into the ground, as well as extending out. Yeah. Good. Okay, just work the shoulders a little bit. Good. And forwards. Nice big rotations. Good. And you're going to alternate backwards. We also include the hips in this motion as well. Let everything. It's a little bit like someone's pushing you on the shoulder. Imagine you've got kind of pressure applied to the shoulder. I want to keep the body nice and centered, but I want to also let everything be flexible to the ground. That's it. Yeah, good. Good. And then you're going to now work with a kind of figure of 8. So you basically with the hand, with the arm, just let it flow from the side this way to one side. That's it. Really trying to connect the hand into the hip. Let it really just follow. That's it. Good. And to the other side. Let it follow. That's it. That's it. Good. Good. And then just work both arms together. So you're going to say one and then the other. That's it. And keep the body nice and centered. So along the spine, keep it nice and keep a nice sense of length. Just let the weight sink each time into the ground. Good. Okay, just do some extra to the shoulders. Imagine you're kind of pressing against 2 walls here with the arms. Stretch out, and then what you're going to do is just roll the shoulders forward to the front. And then from the coil backwards here, and really let the arms rotate as well. So the fingers all the way to the fingers. Basically going to create a rotation through. Imagine you're kind of coiling through the tissues, through the tendons, all the way through. That's it. That's it. That's it. Good. And then from this position, this is really kind of work the forearms into the wrist. What you're going to do is be in a show from here. You're going to have the palms flat, as if you're kind of pressing the palms into the wall. And then what you're going to do is with the fingers, coil them and make contact with the fingers to the thumbs, and coil it up this way, and feel the forearm. So that should start to kind of activate the inside of the forearm. So you just alternate now between this position and pressing the palms out. Seems like such a small exercise, but it's really activates the forearms. So it's a nice, you got it. So it's there, into this, there, that's it, into this. Good. That's it. Good. And then you do the opposite way. Starting with the palms, the fingers facing up like this, and then you coil the hands underneath this way. Now you should feel this activating the underside of the forearm now. There, and then opening out. Coiling, making contact. It's like a bit like making an eagle's claw or something. It's kind of coiling in there. And then pushing out. That's it. Again. And pushing out. That's it. And this is really just for the whole arm. What I want you to do is bring the elbows close to the body, stretch in. You're going to make contact from the fingertips to the palm, and then make contact from the wrist into the forearm and into the elbow, into this. And we'll do this nice and fluidly. You come to this position full extended, and then as if you're kind of swimming, you kind of push back, and then re-establish the contact into the body. Yeah, make the contact, little finger, hand, wrist, forearm, elbow. Extend out as far as you can, and then release it out to the side, and then make contact into the center. Stretch out, and then release it. Stretch out, release it. And as you're doing it, really keep the weight of the hips in the ground. So you're extending out fully. You're really letting the weight of the body sink down at the same time. That's good. And now try reversing it. So you're in this position. You bring the hands towards the body, and then you coil them out this way. And then you make the contact towards the body, coil out. It's a little bit more fluid now. So really feel all the arms are activated towards the center out. Center out. Nice. Good. Good. And we'll just finish with a nice big stretch of the whole body. So just stretching up. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And then stretching forward. Really keeping length through the whole spine. Release into the hands, let the neck release. And then just coil all the way up. And do the kind of coil up, kind of vertebra by vertebra. You kind of go dum, 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 and then really create length through the body as you come up. And then again, forward, folding. Keep the knees bent, relaxed. Work into the ground. Let all the breath out, and then come back up with the breath. And just let the breath start to kind of lead the movement. Just one more. just shaking the hands out to the front. Maybe let the wrist kind of go, let everything shake. And just here, the arms, fingers pointing up, release. Holding the arms. And just the whole body. And the legs. Good. Okay, take a jog. Good. Good. Okay, so we'll just start with the basic Suburi work. So just the left side forward, just placed in front of the front foot. And then from here, just as one movement, coming through and finding the ski this way. And just coming back. Keep it nice, calm. Big, clear movements and try and let the whole body move as one unit. Okay. Okay, so the first major thing with this is that this is a kind of arcing movement. So when we do the sword work, you're looking, oh, I can't make a cut with this scenery. You're going to make an arc through the body this way, so that the arc's coming this way. With the Jo work, the arc's coming this way. So the arc's really moving in this case like this. So just really be aware of the difference between this kind of straight kind of lateral movement and a sense of arcing the body through the ground this way. So just as a kind of exercise for this, just keep the feet flat on the ground like this. You're just in a kamae, and just let the Jo move through the body this way. And from the back arm, I want to really make an arc. It's a bit like a kind of pendulum, so it's going to kind of swing through. And I really want to avoid doing this kind of move because it's not a spear, because it's not a kind of pointed object. It's a blunt object. I can't really work in straight lines, so this way. You're really going to kind of arc through. So keep the shoulder nice and loose. Just trying to kind of establish a sense of arcing. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Interesting. Nice. Okay, good. Yeah, and just be, in terms of the connection now, just watch for these things happening. So the body's basically kind of, if I'm kind of loose with the connection, the body will start to do this. Starts to kind of do this. Have the feeling in this case that the body, the core of the body is going to sink into the ground this way. So think about the body. The core is really just stabilizing into the ground, but it's not going to kind of also kind of swing. So I want the joint in this case, which is the arm, to really be flexible. Remember, this is really actually the same as we do this exercise. What I don't want to happen is the body to also swing out with the arm. So I want the joint, the limb to create the flexibility, and I want the core of the body to be really stable. So in this case, try and feel the different parts of the body. So the core is really stable, and the arms are very, very loose as I can make them. That's especially the shoulder joint. That's it, good. Yeah, and do this both sides as well. Left and right. That's it. Huh. No, great. Nice. Good. Okay, so we'll just look at the kind of finishing position. So you're in this position. Again, just let it arc through. You've got this position. And then just every so often, just stop the jaw. So you're basically going to just come into this position here. Oh, try and show from here, this way. So basically what you're doing is working from the back hip, working with a big arc through the body. And then I'm basically finishing the movement just in line with the shoulder. So that's the limit of the arc where I'm going to kind of stop with it. So you've got this position, just we're kind of work into it, do a few kind of establish the sense of the arc through the body, and then just place it. As if you're kind of touching a wall in front of you. So it's as if you're kind of just stopping there. 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 That's it. Okay, good.
Michael?
Yeah.
Actually doing this, I now realize, just looking at myself on the screen as well, are we supposed to be standing like quite straight when we've done the ski, as in, and the upper body is not leaning towards the ski?
No, think in terms of, don't think in terms of straightness, think in terms of extension through the spine. So
Okay.
it's a little bit like the sword. I'll just get the sword work. It's a little bit like when we do the sword work. If I think in terms of straightness, what I tend to do is like this. I tend to I need to keep this kind of straight. I need to keep this sense of being straight. But actually what I want to do is join into the arc as well. So the whole body is also going to join the arc that way. Which is why we get this slight kind of lean into the cut. And it's the same with the jaw. So that the spine's going to flex with the jaw as well. This way. So I'm trying to show from this way. This way. So I'm basically that way. This way. I'm basically breaking the vertical. You see in my back, it's basically breaking the vertical. But I keep the length. So I keep the length through the back of the head and into the body. But I don't do this. Oh, I try and do it this way. So I don't try and maintain a sense of vertical through the body this way, through the.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it does. Thank you. Yeah.
Basically splitting from the jaw, so the jaw's going forward, and I'm trying to stay vertical. So what I want to do is actually join into the ski as well. So the whole body's going to go with that movement that way. But I need to also really keep the sense of length.
Okay, thank you.
Super straight. Good. That's it. Nice. Nice. Okay, good. And a little bit also like the sword work. I need a little shorter stick. When you finish the cut, you basically want to find a basically horizontal position. So it's established a kind of really clear relationship with the ground. And the same with the jaw in terms of the basic ski. Try and keep it kind of horizontal with the jaw. So you're really working in a sense. I'm really working in a sense here. With the kind of basic standard is basically where it's not exactly horizontal with the ground, but what I want to avoid working now is in these kind of positions. And every time being in a different kind of position. So really to create a kind of consistency in the movement, what I want to do is just keep a sense of horizontal. 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 Mm-hmm. So the best way is actually to pick a spot on the wall or some kind of object and keep a kind of consistent thrust. So each time you want the body to do the same thing. That's it. That's it. Good. Yeah, good. Okay, they're good. And then if we look at the finish, what you're going to do now is from this position, come through and really snap into the hands. And you can do both sides in this case, but just feel the body come forward, through, and then I get to the final part of the arm, and then the hands just snap in. So the hands just do this way. And the key is really keeping the flexibility from the original movement, this arcing movement. Getting to this position where I'm just on the shoulder, and then really allowing the hands to snap together. That's it. Got it. Nice. Okay. And just watch now the position of the wrist. So what I want to keep is the sense of the arm coming in through the jaw. So it's going to kind of create a line through the jaw. Now the moment I do something like this, I kink that connection. So if I do this kind of movement and I basically kink that connection, what I want to do is keep this sense of length through the jaw. So as I come into the finish here, so this it's as if the jaw extends into the arm. That's the kind of word. It's as if the jaw is kind of growing out of the hand this way. So I've got a sense that the whole arm's involved in the thrust rather than that and that. And if I do this in terms of striking work, and I do this a lot, then all the force starts to go into the wrist, so it collects into the wrist, and I start to kind of injure the wrist. So what I want to do is keep a strong position here, this position, just in the end of the jaw, and the fingers, just there. Just imagine the whole arm's involved in the thrust. That's it. Yeah, good. Great, 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 great. Good. And know that the focus tends to be in the hands. Also think in terms of the feet. So as I focus the hands, also I'm focusing into the feet, which doesn't mean it doesn't mean I'm cleaving the ground with the feet, but it means that I'm increasing the pressure in the feet. So feel that the feet and the hands work together. In this case, this. So there's a sense of pressure being placed into the feet. So think about the handwork, hands and feet together, hands and feet together. Hands and feet together. And I want to be really solid at the end. There's really a sense of stability. Hands and feet. Good. Good. Okay, so we'll work with a combination Tsuki Gerangaishi. So you come forward with the thrust, draw everything back here, and then from here coming forward, creating the Gerangaishi, straight to the knee here. In this case, just keep to one side, do a few on one side, and then you can also change to the other if you like. In this case, nice and solid here. Draw the whole body back, and then press through, find the strike. Nice, basic, clear form. Good. Okay, so just watching this move, you come through. Just watch for basically this happening. The arms go and then the body follows this way. So again, it's the same kind of this habit that we're kind of used to doing is that the arms come in and then the body's kind of dragged by it. In this case, really feel that the core initiates this movement. So you draw everything into the core, the body, and then from here the core releases. So there's a kind of sense of flexibility through the joints. So the arms move at the same time, but they don't start the movement. So really get the sense again that the center presses. And this is best when very, very light. So really looking just at the initial release or the motivation for the movement. Center in. And just come to this position here. So really feel that the center initiates it. As soon as the hands start to initiate, basically the connection just disappears. Look, the center ball. Nice. It's actually a very strange move, but in this case, be really aware of this hand, so the front hand, the top hand that's on the jug. This is really where the kind of power in the movement is going to actually come from. So I got a lot of power if I can generate a lot of power through the front hand. The thing I don't have is control, so I can generate a lot of movement and power through it. I don't have control. What tends to happen in this case is that the back arm does the kind of movement, and the front arm gets left doing nothing. It's just going to kind of rotate. It's just going to kind of do this. This way, like this. But in this case, I think that the front hand's also really involved in it. So it's going to do a big arc through the movement this way. So the front arm is doing this. It's a bit like kind of opening a door. You open the door to it this way. But if I do it like this, the body works in a kind of rigid way. So try and create a sense of flexibility through the joints, especially the front hand. This coils in and then comes in this way. It comes in this way. And if you want just practice the Gedangashi, just practice that move. It's a very difficult move actually. Huh. Good. Okay, good.
So is it almost a stirring action?
Yeah, you can say it. Yeah. That's the, yeah. You've got a sense of that. What I basically want is it to connect into the hips, so that it's gonna basically the hand's gonna reflect the hip work. So it's got a sense of it's gonna kind of it's gonna do this way. Yeah. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, one of the strange things of this move is also that I'm doing a circular movement with the jug and allowing the jug to go circular, but in this case, just pressing the body through straight. So again, one of the tendencies in this move is for the body to kind of follow the circular movement. So it basically means it's basically twisting out of the structure. So again, think of the core and the arms as kind of separate. I want the core to be stable and I want the arms to be flexible. In this case, the stability is in a sense just allowing the body to travel forward whilst keeping the flexibility in the joints and allows me to make this kind of circular movement whilst keeping a sense of stability. So really stable in the center and let the arms release that way. That's a strong core and flexible periphery in this case. Yeah, good. Okay. That's it, good. Nice. Good. Okay, I'm going to just complete the movement. So just from here, thrusting through, rolling back, coming into the strike, and then from here, release, and then find the command. And in this case, just repeat both sides. So you do 1, 2, 3, full strike here, and then release it and come into the back this way. And again, just looking, really just connecting the whole body in the movement. So all of the movement, the whole body. The whole body here, whole body comes back. Just think again, connecting everything together. We got there. Okay, good. And again, this is really simple. This is actually a simple movement. But what tends to happen is I release and come up with the body this way. The sense of I've reached the ground, the hips are stable, and then as I release, the center also releases and kind of comes out. But in this case, think of the center is basically going to hug the ground. So it's going to keep the ground this way. So there's really a sense of here in this position, the center remains down, and then the hand position this way. This. You're kind of hugging the ground with the hips. Just keep the center low. Yeah, there we go. Good. That's it. So just wear this now into 2 moves, into 3 moves in this case. So 1, 2 here, and then 3 all the way through to the back. So 1, 2 into the core, and 3 strike and draw the hip back. Nice and fluid. 1, 2, 3. And in the center again. 1, 2, 3. And just watch the footwork in this one. So it's a little bit different than the basic. So we do the basic kind of come here and then press the body back. So we're using the feet in a kind of 1-2 position. When you do this move, just try and stabilize the feet. So you press in and then the foot doesn't really move this way. So the front foot now just stabilizes. And then the back hip opens out. If I try and do this in a sense like this, then all the stability disappears. You can see straight away. So even if I try and hold the center, where the stability goes. But just in this case, just simplify the footwork. Now just press it in, and then I allow the back hip to open out. It's now much more. Just try and simplify the movement a little bit. That's it. That's it. Good. Good. That's it. Okay, so this is quite easy to do in a kind of light way. So it's this, in the sense like this. This way. So I'm doing the hand work, but it's not actually connecting into the ground so much, so or it's not connecting deeply. So think of a really deep connection into the ground when you do this. So really deeply into the ground there. So it's really got a sense of weight through the jaw, and the weight's not coming through force of the arms, but it's coming just through sinking the weight of the body. So think about relaxing the body into the ground. So think about a kind of big, heavy movement. There. It comes here and then there. This way. That's it. Good. Yeah, that's it. Great. Nice. Okay, so we'll do a move that basically is challenging this connection to stay in the ground. So now you're going to come here, back, come into the same position. And now here, rather than going low, you come in high with the body. So the jaw's going to come now up this way. And I want the body now to really stabilize in the ground here, through to it. And in this case, it's a block. And coming through into a thrust this way. So now you do a high movement. So come here, back, roll through, draw the legs through as well, this way. And then press through into the ground this way. Do this first really basic. 1, 2, 3. Release into the block. And then 4, finish with a ski. And then from here, just come back into the Kamae 5. And then you do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each side. Okay. Okay, so we'll blend this together a little bit. So now, so here, comes here, 1, 2. Now from here, you're going to blend these movements together. So I'm going to draw the body in for the blow, and then press through into the ski straight away. And then from here, just rolling back here. So now you do this. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, all in 1, 3, 4. Like this. Give it a try. And now just 4 movements. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Good.
Michael? Michael?
Yeah.
For me, when I'm doing the block, there is
Yeah.
a landing point on my feet, so I cannot do it totally fluid. I have to, for the block, I have to get stabilized on my feet, and then I can do the ski forward. Is this right or is it wrong?
Good point, but it's which foot you're landing into. This is the question with this one. With the fluid, yeah, this is
the forward one.
Yeah, that's in this case that's the problem. So if I land my way to the front foot, then to make the ski, I've got to adjust through it again this way. So in this case, the weight during the block is actually in the front foot. So it's actually this way. You see that? So now it changes. So it's like this. So my weight's actually in the front foot this way, and then as I press through, I find the front foot that way. You see? So it's this, or it's the rear. In terms of the final movement, it's the rear leg, but this leg I'm really going to sink into it, and then push through this way. You see that? So in the basic, we do like this way. But in this case, what you're doing is this way. You see the difference?
Yeah. Yes.
This.
Yeah, now it is clear. And I thought that there was a problem in my movement. Thanks.
There we go. There we go. Good. No. No.
Great. It changes everything. Thanks.
Super. Good. Okay, just play a little bit freely now with these movements. So coming through. So you've got the basic kind of gedangachi coming through for the strike here. This way coming back. You can also play with it in a kind of fluid way. This way. And you've got this movement where you're making a block into a ski. So just play with them freely. This way. We've got super basic with this movement here. This way. And just think all the time, working with arcs through the body, stabilizing the core, and letting the arms be free to find the arcs. Now. Very good. Good. Great. Okay, good. We'll stop there. はい。どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
Great. Thanks.